The evening was draped in elegance as the black limousine rolled up to Seoul's most exclusive rooftop restaurant, 8 Walder Minuet. A breathtaking panoramic view of the shimmering city skyline stretched across the horizon, creating the perfect backdrop for a night filled with tension and perhaps something more. Taehyung stepped out of the car first, clad in a tailored black suit that clung to his tall, lean frame. His piercing gaze was cold as steel, exuding an air of undeniable arrogance. He adjusted his cuffs with a flick of his wrist before turning to Y1. Y1, however, was no damsel overwhelmed by his presence. She stepped out confidently in a sleek red dress that hugged her figure perfectly, her eyes gleaming with sass and defiance. She tilted her head up at him, a mischievous smirk playing on her lips. "You clean up, well, Mr. Kim," she quipped. "Though I'm sure that ego of yours thinks it's the best dressed thing here." Taehyung's jaw tightened, but a hint of amusement flickered in his eyes. "It's called confidence, sweetheart, something you might want to learn." She chuckled, unapologetically savage. "Oh, trust me, I have plenty. Just don't let it outshine yours. Wouldn't want to bruise that fragile male pride." He narrowed his eyes but said nothing, leading her into the restaurant with an air of authority that turned heads. The hostess guided them to a private table adorned with flickering candles and fresh roses. The ambience was intimate, romantic even, though neither was in the mood for sugary sentiments. As they settled in, Taehyung leaned back in his chair, his gaze never wavering from while "And so tell me," he drawled, "what made you agree to this dinner, Daddy's hors d'oeuvres?" Wyoan arched a brow. "Unlike you, Mr. Mafia King, I don't need someone to order me around. I came because I felt like gracing you with my presence." She picked up the menu and scanned it nonchalantly. "Though this place better have good food to make up for your company." A sardonic smirk tugged at his lips. "Don't worry. The food will be the highlight clearly. Conversation won't be." They ordered their meals, a perfectly seared Wagyu steak for Taehyung and a delicate truffle pasta for Y1. The waiter poured a vintage red wine, but even the smooth liquid couldn't drown out the palpable tension between them. As the first course arrived, Weil untwirled her fork through her pasta, deliberately ignoring Taehyung's piercing gaze. "So," he began, cutting into his steak with precision, "how does a princess like you handle being part of this world? Or are you just here for show?" She met his gaze head-on. "Oh, I handle myself just fine, thank you. But I can't say the same for you. All that arrogance must be exhausting." He leaned forward slightly, his voice low and dangerous. "Careful, Y1, you're playing with fire," she smirked. "Good thing I'm flame-proof." Despite himself, Taehyung let out a chuckle, short, rough, but genuine. The waiter returned with the next course, and for a brief moment, silence settled over the table as they savoured the expertly crafted dishes. "I'll admit," Wyoan said, breaking the silence, "this steak smells better than your cologne." He arched a brow, considering it's a $300 bottle. "I'll take that as an insult." "You should," she shot back playfully. As the evening wore on, the intensity between them simmered, shifting from hostility to something more tantalizing. The moon cast a silver glow over the restaurant as they finished their meal. Taehyung set his napkin down and regarded her thoughtfully. "You're not what I expected," he admitted. "Good," she said, her tone softer but still laced with sass. "Because I refuse to be predictable." He leaned closer, his voice low. "Maybe that's what makes you dangerous." She met his gaze, unflinching. "And maybe that's what makes me irresistible." For once, Taehyung was at a loss for words, but the smirk tugging at his lips said more than enough. The dinner might have started as a battle of egos, but it ended with an undeniable spark neither could ignore. Just as they were enjoying dessert, a sickeningly sweet voice cut through the pleasant atmosphere. "Taehyungji." Both Wyoan and Taehyung turned to see Yeri, Taehyung's so-called girlfriend, making her way toward their table. Dressed in pastel pink with a perfectly staged innocent smile, she looked every bit the clinging, fake darling. Wyoan's eyes narrowed as she fought the urge to gag. What is this circus act now? Yeri latched onto Taehyung's arm, batting her lashes. "I didn't know you were dining here tonight," she cooed. "Mind if I join?" Taehyung's jaw clenched, but he said nothing, which didn't go unnoticed by Wyoan. "Interesting," she mused. He's just bearing her for some reason. Why? Yeri plopped down in the chair beside Taehyung, ignoring the tense atmosphere. Oh wow, dessert already. I guess I'll just have to share with you, Taehyungji, while unforced a tight smile. How thoughtful of you, third wheeler. Yeri's innocent facade cracked for a brief second before she giggled. Actually, you're the third wheel, sweetheart. We're the couple, and you're the one who came in between. YN's amusement only grew as she looked at Taehyung, who sighed but didn't bother to correct Yeri. Wow, so this is how it is. Then I guess I'll leave, YN said, her voice dripping with forced politeness. Taehyung's eyes widened in shock, but before he could say anything, Yeri smirked in triumph. YN stood up gracefully, smoothing her dress. Taehyung finally found his voice. YN, wait, but YN was already walking away. Yeri smirked deepened as she clung to Taehyung's arm. See? She knows her place. Taehyung shrugged her off without a second thought and stood up. Stay here, he commanded curtly, ignoring her protest as he strode after YN. He caught up to her in the lobby, slightly out of breath. You accepted defeat so fast, he challenged. YN smirked. Are you jealous, Mr. Kim? He scoffed. Jealous? Of what? Relax, she sang teasingly. I'm just tired after a long day, and then arguing with her. Exhausting, she waved dismissively. She ain't worth it, he narrowed his eyes. Then what's the problem? She pointed a finger at him, looking him up and down with a dramatic sigh. What should I even argue about? You, oof, never mind. I've got better things to do. Taehyung's jaw clenched. Are you walking out on me? She flashed a grin. I already walked out on you. And with that, she turned on her heel, leaving a stunned Taehyung behind, his ego bruised, but his intrigue piqued more than ever. YN sat cross-legged on the couch, a book in her hand, eyes glinting with a mischievous spark. Her lips curled into a proud smirk as if she'd just devised the world's most brilliant scheme. Taehyung, seated at his desk with paperwork in front of him, glanced up. His brow furrowed as he studied her expression.
What is she up to now? That smug face never means peace. He leaned back in his chair, eyes still fixed on her. YN, completely unaware of his scrutiny, flipped a page of her book, clearly pleased with herself. Before Taehyung could ask what was going on inside that devious head of hers, YN's phone buzzed on the coffee table. Both their gazes snapped to the device. YN's face lit up as she read the caller ID. Taehyung's brows lifted slightly. Her dad, maybe, but then YN answered the call, practically squealing, "Cookie." Taehyung blinked, his expression shifting to mild confusion. Cookie, who the hell is that? An assistant, maybe? He shrugged, brushing it off, though a sliver of curiosity lingered. Meanwhile, YN stood up, beaming as she pressed the phone to her ear. Without sparing Taehyung another glance, Taehyung watched her retreating figure, his jaw tightening. Why does it sound like this cookie guy just made her entire day? Taehyung's eyes narrowed. Cookie, who the hell is that? An assistant, maybe a childhood friend. He tried to shrug it off, but curiosity gnawed at him. YN giggled as she walked toward the balcony, phone pressed to her ear. It's been ages. How are you? Taehyung clenched his jaw as he watched her disappear out of sight. The playful lilt in her voice only fueled his irritation. Who the hell is this cookie? And why is she acting like a lovesick teenager? He took a deep breath, but his temper simmered just beneath the surface. No way am I letting this slide. The next morning, YN was up early, rummaging through her wardrobe with an unusual spark of energy. Taehyung, sipping his coffee near the window, raised a brow at her frantic movements. You're unusually ... energetic, he remarked dryly, eyeing the pile of clothes scattered across the bed. YN held up two dresses, one red and the other emerald green. This one or this one? Taehyung blinked, confused. Why is she asking me? The green one, he answered nonchalantly, setting his coffee down. YN hummed thoughtfully before tossing both dresses aside and fishing for another. She disappeared into the closet, emerging moments later with a sleek black dress. What about lipstick, red or nude? She asked, stepping closer with 2 tubes in hand. Taehyung leaned back, arms crossed. Since when do you care about my opinion? Won blushed slightly, avoiding his gaze. No reason, she muttered, brushing past him. Suspicious, Taehyung thought, watching her with narrowed eyes. She even made him take pictures of her several, in fact. One more, she demanded, adjusting her pose. You're not a model, he said flatly, though he snapped the picture anyway. They were heading downstairs when the doorbell rang. The maid hurried to open it. Taehyung's brows furrowed at the sight of a handsome man standing at the door, holding a bouquet of flowers. Before he could react, Won's excited shout filled the space. Cookie, she sprinted toward the man, wrapping him in a tight hug. Taehyung's jaw clenched, his fists tightening at the sight. How dare she? He scoffed internally, Won pulled back, her eyes sparkling. How are you, God? You got more handsome. Oh, tattoos, Jungkook leaned in slightly, whispering, don't go overboard. Your husband's a Mafia King, remember. Won grinned mischievously, really? Taehyung's sharp gaze zeroed in on them. What did he whisper? Clearing his throat loudly, he gained their attention. Won gasped as if suddenly remembering Taehyung's existence, though. I forgot to introduce you both. She hesitated before gesturing awkwardly. Cookie. This is my husband, KIMTAEHYUNG. And husband ... This is my boyfriend Jungkook's *x* boyfriend, she corrected sheepishly. Taehyung's expression darkened, his burning gaze fixed on Jungkook, who offered a handshake. Taehyung accepted but squeezed hard enough to make Jungkook flinch. Hehe, nice to meet you, Jungkook said nervously, attempting a polite smile. Taehyung nodded curtly, his grip unrelenting. Jungkook cleared his throat. You look stunning, Nai, he complimented. Taehyung's eyes narrowed as realization dawned, so all that effort was for him. Won blushed, fidgeting slightly. Taehyung cut in smugly. I chose her outfits, so she was supposed to stand out. Won glared at him, clearly irritated. Taehyung smirked, arrogant as ever, reveling in his victory. Won beamed at Jungkook. Let's go. Taehyung's brow arched. We're having breakfast out, Won said casually, linking her arm with Jungkook's. Taehyung's innocent smile was anything but genuine. Oh, but Millie made such a big breakfast for us. Are we going to waste it, wifey? Won shot him a pointed look. You can. I can't eat all of it alone, wifey. He cut her off with faux sweetness. Also, I can't eat well without you. His voice dripped with playful innocence. Why don't you invite your friend to join us? Won sighed in exasperation. I already said. Jungkook cleared his throat nervously. Oh, it's okay. Let's eat at home anyway. I love home-cooked meals. Taehyung's forced smile barely hid his smug satisfaction. Great, he said smoothly. Jungkook offered a weak, nervous smile while Won rolled her eyes. After you, Taehyung gestured, stepping aside with a gentlemanly air. Both Jungkook and Won headed toward the dining room, Taehyung walking behind them like a shadow. As they walked, Won leaned closer to Jungkook, whispering, Why are you so scared of him? Jungkook whispered back, You're his wife. I'm his target. I don't want him to chop me into pieces. Won glared at him. Drama much? Taehyung's sharp ears caught every word, though he remained silent, his lips curled into a sly smirk. Getting the ex-boyfriend here. Not bad, he thought, his mind spinning with plans. I'll make him regret it in minutes. His gaze flickered to Won. And this wild kitten, she needs to be tamed.